Welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm Joanna Kleinman, CEO of the Dethroning Your Inner Critic coaching company. And I'm going to share with you today the four biggest lessons that I've learned along my 30-year journey that are going to change everything for you. So I want to have you first think about this, okay? Every time your life turned in a new and transformative direction, there was a moment where something inside of you just simply knew. And when you followed that inner nudge, your life went in a different direction. And we all have those moments that we can look back on. But when we're in the middle of the doubt and the fear, and you can't yet see that moment, it can feel very overwhelming. So today, I'm going to take you behind the scenes of my own 30-year journey of building visions that felt impossible at the time, and the four most important lessons I've learned along the way. And I want to start with a quote that has really shaped my entire life. It's from the poet Goethe, and it says, "Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it." Now, when I was 17 years old, I wrote my entire college entrance essay around that quote. And looking back now, it feels like my future self was pulling me and whispering to me, this will be the theme of your life. And it truly has been. In every chapter of my life, there was always a bigger vision that was calling me forward. And every single time, my inner critic tried to keep me stuck. She filled me with doubt and fear and the stress of how was it all going to work out? So if I look back, the year 2000, right? I was wanting to create my private practice and I had no idea how to create that. And then synchronicity stepped in a couple of years later and I was invited to rent an office space and boom, 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 I started my practice. And then once I was in the middle of my practice, I started realizing that really all of our minds work the same way and we all have this automatic conditioned mind that we mistake for who we are, and I needed to create something that was really going to help people with that automatic mind. And that's when my method came into existence, right? And from there, it was, well, how do I build a workshop around that, right? I had no idea. How do I write a book? How do I do a podcast? How do I do a YouTube channel, right? All of these things happened over, probably 10 or 15 years of my journey, right? And then how do I take this program overseas, right? And now I'm leading this program for a Cambodian school for women, right? Then how do I create a certification program so that I can certify people in this method? And now I'm creating an app. None of this I knew how to do. And in each chapter, the synchronicity showed up with the right people and the right resources. Now, let me be clear. Every time before the right people and the right resources showed up, my inner critic created fear and doubt and overwhelm and dread and imposter syndrome. And she still whispers to me today, right? You're too old. You don't know how. But the difference now is I know that that is just echoes of my old self. So let's dive into these four life-changing lessons. Lesson one is that your anger and frustration is really just your unexpressed potential. So anger, frustration, fear, overwhelm, these are not problems. So when you're not writing the book, not putting yourself out there, not having the conversations, not living fully into the life that you know that you're meant for, that's when your creative energy gets jammed. And that stuck momentum leaks out as snapping at your spouse, or irritability with your kids, or self criticism, or self sabotage, right? So that doesn't just show up in your emotions, it shows up in your body too. So if you have tightness in your neck and shoulders, right, that's where your fear of judgment comes landing on your shoulders. If you have jaw or head pain, that could be overwhelm. It could be resentment. It could be trying to control how your future goes. If you have stomach issues, that could be where you carry shame. It could be where you carry guilt. It could be where you carry dread. If you have lower back or hip issues, that could be real fear that you're not supported in fulfilling on your dreams, right? If you have problems with your legs or your knees, that could be a real fear of moving forward. So most people, when they start experiencing these uncomfortable emotions or these uncomfortable body aches, they just want the pain to go away. So maybe they go to a chiropractor or a massage therapist, or they go to a therapist to try to deal with the emotions. Okay. But as Bessel van der Kolk says in his brilliant book, The Body Keeps Score, your body is communicating to you. So your body is not broken, it's actually a messenger. Okay. So when you understand how to interpret these signals and unhook yourself from that automatic mind that keeps perpetuating those emotions, perpetuating those body sensations, perpetuating those behaviors, right? The antidote is not to make all of that go away. It's not to suppress your anger. It's not to get rid of the pain or the fear or the dread or the doubt. It's actually to use that as the messenger that it is. It's showing you where you are blocking yourself from stepping into that bigger version of you and that bigger version of your life. And I've got news for you. That fear, that dread, it doesn't go away until you take action. Action is the antidote. So if you're waiting for your anger, your frustration, your overwhelm, your fear, your dread, your doubt, your body aches to go away before you take action, that's the opposite of what's really going to get you that life that you want. Now, lesson number 2 fits right alongside with that. Lesson number 2 is about redefining what abundance really means. Now, for years, I thought abundance was all about money. And so when money wasn't showing up, I thought abundance was missing in my life. But money is just one small channel of a whole big river. And our culture trains us to see abundance only through the lens of money. And in doing so, we miss abundance in the most important parts of our life. So true abundance looks like a friend showing up when you need them. It looks like an idea that drops into your mind in the shower at the perfect moment. Abundance looks like the timing that works out better than you could have planned. It looks like having a supportive partner. It looks like having health. It looks like having these inspirations of what you want your life to be. So every one of these signs is abundance. But if you're conditioned to see abundance as only money, you're going to miss just how abundant your life already is. Because the truth is that the universe uses abundance as one of its favorite tools to pull you into your vision, to pull you into your joy, to pull you into what's possible for you in your life. So when you follow your vision, your excitement, when you really start taking those actions, even while your inner critic is screaming at you, who are you? You're not ready. You're not enough. And comparing you to all the people that seemingly are further along than you, right? When you stop letting yourself be mired down in that and you take actions that are in alignment with that vision, abundance shows up. Literally, life supplies you with exactly what you need. Not always what you expect, but always what you need. Lesson number 3, avoiding the tyranny of how. So for years, I thought I had to know how before I began. But the truth is, if you've never done it before, how can you possibly know how to do it? So when you start with, how do I do this? You paralyze yourself. Now, your inner critic wants to know the how. Your inner critic wants to wait for the certainty, but the certainty is never going to come. So here's the shift. You don't start with the how, you start with the vision. You start with the why. You say, this is the result that I want to create. And it matters so much to me that I'm going to do whatever it takes, and there's no way out. And that's when your brain and the universe rise up to figure out the how. And let me tell you, the road to figuring out the how has so many twists and turns. Okay. For me, the launches that failed, the partnerships that ended, the money and the time that I invested in things that went nowhere. But the thing that carried me along this 30-year journey wasn't the how, it was the why. And my why is this: I know that when people learn how to separate from their inner critic mind and they really understand how to reconnect with their true, authentic self, their life transforms, not just for them, but for everyone they touch. That's my fuel. That's why those Goethe words are still my touchstone. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Which leads us to the final lesson, number 4, and that's trading self-focus for appreciation. So focus on ourselves creates suffering, right? Our minds are designed to find what's wrong with our life, what's not good enough, what is life supposed to be that it isn't. And when we're focused on what we want and don't yet have, we're focused on our fears. We're focused on the places in our life where we feel that life isn't enough or we're not enough. And that is the root of all of our suffering. So the fastest way out of that is appreciation, because you can't suffer and be grateful at the same time. They can't coexist. Now, if you think about life like that river, when you're gripping the banks of the river, insisting that things need to be predictable and they need to be calm and you need to know how it's all going to go, you create friction and you create pain and you create suffering. When you let go of the bank of the river, when you allow the river to carry you, life unfolds with grace. Again, it might take you to things that you don't expect. It might take you to places where, well, I thought this was the answer, but that's not the answer. But in the full journey, even when you are sent in a direction that doesn't work out, that's all part of the bigger journey. Because sometimes we have to first experience who we're not and what life isn't. And that allows us to see more of who we really are and what we do really want in life. So that's why I intentionally practice appreciation for all of it every day. I appreciate the moments where life didn't go the way I wanted. I appreciate all of the failures. I appreciate now the extraordinary clients that I get to serve. I appreciate the profound privilege of watching people transform their lives and the ripple effects it creates in their families, in their relationships, in their communities, with their own clients, with the people that they're serving. So when you trade your expectations for appreciations, you change your life. So here I am, 3 decades into building dreams that I could not have even imagined, especially when I was 17. And looking back, I see how Goethe's words were the thread through it all. So I'm going to repeat them to you. Whatever you can do or dream you can, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, and magic in it. Your body, your emotions, your abundance, your vision, your gratitude, these are all tools that will keep you aligned with your dreams. So if something inside of you is calling for expression, don't wait for certainty. Don't wait for clarity. Don't get stuck in the how, and don't let fear keep you on the sidelines. Just take the next right step. Follow the pull and just begin it, because your future self is not going to rest until that future self is expressed. Thank you for tuning into today's video. If you found this useful, please subscribe to the channel, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. If you want to take this further, check out my masterclass. It's an hour of a chock full of information on how to unhook yourself from your inner critic so you can take action on your journey. And the link to the masterclass is in the show notes. Thanks for tuning in today.